This is the city of Dubuque, Iowa. Founded as a river port city to the Great Mississippi, Dubuque is a crossroad city of rich history and modern development. Likewise, Dubuque's population is a wide spectrum showcasing many different levels of socioeconomic status, also referred to as SES. Driving through downtown Dubuque, observers will see a mixture of industrial brick buildings, some new development here and there, and residential areas that are as old as the town itself. The residents of downtown Dubuque are generally of a low socioeconomic status, qualifying for special services. One of the services aimed at benefiting the low SES community is the All-Stars after-school program provided by Helping Services for Northeast Iowa. Claire Jones, director of the Dubuque chapter of Helping Services and co-author of the grant that supports All-Star program, tells us what Helping Services is all about.
Helping Services is a nonprofit agency, and we basically focus on trying to create healthy communities. We really focus in the area of substance abuse and violence prevention here in Northeast Iowa. Our formal mission, is to support and promote the health and children of adults living in Northeast Iowa, and we focus our resources in areas of substance abuse, domestic violence, and sexual abuse. And we reach out to families, individuals, and communities through prevention, intervention, support, and advocacy. The program itself really got started by a conversation that I had with Mr. Burns, who's the principal over at Washington Middle School. And we just happened to be talking about more opportunities for sixth graders to really get involved in extracurricular activities and have more things to do after school. And so later in that year, an opportunity came up to apply for some safe and drug-free schools funding, and that was sort of immediately came to mind as, what could we do, especially with this this middle school population here in Dubuque. And All Stars really became sort of the core component of what we do through that grant, because it's a program that we know reduces substance abuse and other risk factors among that age population.
The All-Star program provides an alternative to risky behavior by giving an at-risk, low SES children a network of positive friends and role models. In the program, mentor Jerry Bilo interacts with youth from 5th to 8th grade. She facilitates activities and discussions that tell the kids that their decisions will determine their destiny, not their family status or their family history. The All-Stars targets a very young audience, but the staff at Helping Services knows that the earlier the prevention, the better. As soon as children begin experimentation with substances, they join a heap of risky statistics. Claire and Jerry know what is at stake for children who think of abusing substances.
The individual risk factors are things like early aggression in kids or poor social skills, poor academics, things like that. Their family risk factors might be, lack of bonding to their families who abuse substances themselves, those kinds of things. Peers, spending time with peers who are also abusing substances. In the school, the availability of drugs in and around the school. The community, which would fall under, what some of the things you're looking at. Poverty is a risk factor overall in general for substance abuse, and so that's something that we look at.
First of all, their brains are still developing, and there's all kinds of, neurotoxins in these drugs or alcohol, cigarettes that interfere with the neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, all different hormone serotonin that all influence your mood and your decision making. And so they're already going through all kinds of changes during adolescence, the puberty, their body's changing, their emotional, their peers, they're more at risk to take, risk-taking behaviors.
Locally, statistics show that 11% of Alma-Key County boys have their first drink at the age of 8. 9% of Alma-Key girls have their first drink at age 11. 25% of Fayette County 8th graders think it is easy or very easy to get marijuana. 46% of Fayette County 11th graders think the same. In 2000, almost 1 in 5 underage persons aged 12 to 20 was a binge drinker, drinking 5 or more drinks at the same occasion on at least one day in the past 30 days. That means that 788 underage youth in Winneshiek County binge drink monthly. 30% of Winneshiek County 11th graders think there is only a slight or no risk for them to drink 3 or more alcoholic beverages every day. Nationally, each year, approximately 5,000 young people under the age of 21 die as a result of underage drinking. This includes about 1,900 deaths from motor vehicle crashes, 1,600 as a result of homicide, 300 from suicide, as well as hundreds of deaths from other injuries such as falls, burns, and drownings, all as a result of drinking. Before age 9, children generally view alcohol negatively and see drinking as bad, with adverse effects. By about age 13, however, their expectancies shift, becoming more positive. So, here's a bit more about why the All-Star program targets ages 10 to 15.
It just seems that for some, for whatever reason, and they're not, sure what that is, that drinking just seems to be an accepted, part of our culture. I mean, if you look here in Dubuque and you look at all the festivals that happen downtown, drinking is a big part of all of those. When you look at parents who still think it's okay to provide a keg for their child's, high school graduation party, it just all sort of promotes this culture where people think it's okay. We know that the longer you can delay the onset of first use, the less likely kids are to become addicted and to suffer from all those problems.
As Ben Franklin said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Nearly 90% of 10th graders and 75% of 8th graders think that alcohol is either fairly easy or very easy for them to get. With alcohol so easily attained, the All-Stars program targets a student's motivation to drink and changes it to be a motivation not to.
Actually, All-Stars kind of uses their own peers to show them that most kids their age do not do these kind of behaviors. A lot of the people who talk about doing these behaviors are bragging, talking about doing things that they really don't do. And they took an anonymous survey, and the anonymous survey showed that the majority of these kids were not doing these kind of behaviors.
The truth is, when a family or student lives in poverty, they already are at a disadvantage to succeed. While statistics show that binge drinking is an issue for students of all SES levels, students living in poverty have fewer avenues of success without the barricade of a criminal record or an addiction to alcohol. However, after-school programs are on the rise. Young people are taking advantage of an alternative way to feel good. Jerry tells us how she has seen a positive addiction arise from her programs.
All those same chemicals that drugs kind of affect and make people feel high are also affected in your own body with just doing something good. Serotonin levels, dopamine levels are all elevated when you do something for someone else. So you get these kids to realize, that helping other people makes them feel well, and then also makes them feel more bonded to their peers in the community and their teachers as well.
Approximately 1 in 4 youths, about 5.5 million, either strongly agreed or somewhat agreed that a lot of drug selling went on in their neighborhoods, and almost 1 in 6 youths, about 3.6 million, have been approached by someone selling drugs in the month before the survey. Youths were also 9 times more likely to have used marijuana in the past month if they knew any adults who used marijuana, compared to youths who didn't know any adult marijuana users. Dubuque has poverty and Dubuque has substance abuse, but Helping Services, through the All-Stars program, is there to tell the young people of Dubuque that there is a network of support to help them succeed. Students are reaching out, making friends, and thinking of where they would like to be in the future, a future that does not include alcohol or substance abuse.
A lot of them don't, think past today, and thinking about their future, starting them thinking about their future at a younger age, I think, and giving them some possibilities. You're not, you don't have to be just what you see in your own neighborhood. There is a chance to get out. There's a chance. These kids they're coming down to the Multicultural Center. They're looking for a safe haven. They're looking for a safe place. They're finding adults to bond with that are giving them hope and a positive role model, and telling them the difference between right and wrong, and giving them some rules and guidelines that maybe they're not getting elsewhere. Work on those college kids and
yeah.
stop that binge drinking.
Yeah.